He has now missed 12 career playoff games throughout his time with the 76ers. Does he deserve criticism for missing game 2? Obviously, we don't want to question injuries here, but his team needed him.
Here we are again. Different year, same story when it comes to Joel Embiid. And Jay Will was right. You can't win a championship with Joel Embiid being one of the faces of your franchise because you can't trust them, right? You can't trust them to be available. And I understand his history is long when it comes to his injuries in the past. But Anthony Edwards has set the bar, in my opinion, right? And when you think about him saying, the doctors were holding him out. He wanted to play, but the organization said no. Well, Anthony Edwards showed us that the player ultimately has the last word. And to me, if you're Joel Embiid, we can't look at his prime like everybody else's prime, right? You only have a short window to max him out. And right now, yes, we have the Knicks. A lot of us have the Knicks favored to win this series, and rightfully so. But let's be honest. Joel Embiid on the floor is a difference maker. Joel Embiid on that floor last night is a huge difference maker, especially when the Knicks went cold the 76ers went cold in the fourth quarter and couldn't make a shot. Right. Joel Embiid brings that balance of being able to get some buckets and get to the free throw line when you're struggling from shooting from the outside. So again, when you look at Joel Embiid, I'm saying to myself, hey, bro, at some point, you got to put your foot down. If you wanted to play, get out there. Take a shot. Put it on the line. Lay it all out on the line for your team and get out there on the floor. So, again, yes, he should take some criticism for missing game 2.
Perk, let me jump in for a second, having been at Madison Square Garden last night. One of the things that the Philly folks were thinking after they found out mid-afternoon that Joel would miss that game, they probably wish they, with hindsight, sat him Monday night for game 1. Because obviously Monday was a physical struggle coming off the game 7 with Boston. Mm-hmm. If they let him sit out Monday night, they'd have had him back for last night. We saw what happened in the previous series, even in the Boston series. Remember, he didn't play that whole series, missed the first 3 games of that. So, here's why I am reluctant to criticize Joel. His body is not stood up and apparently is not capable of standing up to the rigors of an 82-game, really 100-game, we count playoffs, nearly 100-game schedule. It just isn't. We've seen this. We see this with Anthony Davis. We saw this with the great Hall of Famer Bill Walton. There are guys, particularly 7-footers, and I know, Perk, you know this firsthand because you played against these guys and you were one of these guys having to play through this grind. There are certain guys, despite being just lavishly talented, whose bodies cannot stand up to the demands of a nearly 100-game season, and that's been Joel Embiid. You reminded me of this early on. He missed his first 2 seasons he couldn't be out there and play. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's played 70 games once. If he has, only one time. So we shouldn't have been surprised by last night. The Sixers players know how to play without him. They nearly got away with one. More than one thing can be true. With Joel Embiid in that game last night, Maxi's not hangdog tired. Paul George is not hangdog tired. Those guys ran out of gas late with Embiid on the floor. That is unlikely to happen, but I would bet you he'll be out there Friday night. And this series, if it gets to 2-1, it's still a series.
I'm with Wilbon on this. The most games that Joel Embiid has ever played in his career in a season is 68. Of all the years that he has been in the NBA, Perk, 10 years playing. The first 2 years he missed completely. The last 10 years he's played. Only 4 times has he played more than 60 games. And he's never played more than 68. The man, his body can't take it. Everybody can't be Ant-Man. Ant-Man, the way Ant-Man came down in that first round series, all right, we thought he was going to be out a hell of a lot longer. But Ant-Man is different. And yes, you're absolutely right. Players, for the most part, you got to make that call. No question. You don't want to hear about no medical staff, team, all of a sudden. No, you going to make that determination. But Joel Embiid is the exception where you put your foot down as an organization because of how fragile he is. And those 2 times his teammates fell into his knee in game 1, both of those were legitimate style incidents that could have led to him being out the rest of the damn series, to be honest with you, especially when Maxey fell into him. I'm just making the point that I can't, listen, if you're somebody that has durability, that usually has durability on your side, and you've shown an ability to overcome it, that would be different. Everything about this man's entire career, he just can't deal with it.
But how about minute restrictions, right? That's what we're seeing from Anthony Edwards. I'm saying your window for as him being able to, when you talk about his window for as his prime, is not the same as everyone else's. The Philadelphia 76ers, whether we believe it or not, I guarantee you they have belief in that locker room that they could win the NBA championship. They're probably preaching that. He wouldn't have came back against Boston and did what he did if they didn't. At this point, you feel bad not only for Nick Nurse, but you also feel bad for the guys in that locker room. Do you know how frustrating it is going day in and day out, not knowing what your game plan is going to be, what type of style of play you're going to do? Is the guy going to be available or not?
You know this better than me and Will Bond. Will Bond and I have covered the game for decades. You played. Here's the deal. You know that as frustrating as it's going to be, there's a level of empathy and sympathy you'd feel for a teammate who you know can ball, and this dude is just legitimately injured. You know that. That's entirely different than a Ben Simmons situation or somebody like that. Come on, you know that. There's a difference between somebody that ain't showing up and there's really no excuse, and then somebody like Joel Embiid that, always injured. It's true, it's frustrating, but in the same breath, you know, this brother was on the court on one leg, averaging 33 against the Knicks. This brother in the Boston Celtics series is hobbling around, but he's still giving you 33 one game, 26 another, stuff like that. When you get to a point where they're like, yo, he can't go, as frustrating as it is, you hate it because you know if he could, he gonna give you game. And on top of it all, you just know that his body is just breaking down and there's nothing you can do.
He's brittle.
Come on, man.
That's the bottom line. He is a brittle athlete, and it's terrible because when he's great, he's out there and he's available, he's fantastic.
Everybody can't be out there shoving bodies around, being ready to beat up people in the hallways and stuff like that. Everybody can't be like that. Other people are a bit fragile, man.
Okay.
You know, be nice.
56-30 in the paint yesterday. That was the 76ers in that 108-102 loss to the Knicks. Still to come here on First Take. Heads up, Boston.